Okay guys, we're back, and we're going to be looking at a blended Scotch this time out. This is a fairly well-known, and at least for most of its sort of time in existence, it's been pretty well regarded. This is the Black Bottle blended Scotch whiskey, and this was established in 1879 by some Aberdeen tea blenders. Last name Graham, three brothers, I guess, perhaps, or brothers and father. It's Charles, David, and Gordon Graham at any rate. And so yeah, they introduced in 1879. Currently sits at 40% ABV, 80 proof, and for a long time it was, I guess, mostly Highland sort of malts in this, and then they sort of changed up the recipe to the point where it had malts from all seven, well, not all seven, seven Islay distilleries, and that has changed too since. They sort of started doing that around 1990 apparently, and recently this was acquired by Burn Stewart Distillers, and they decided to reformulate this around 2013, I believe, and it is now sort of more back to what it used to be, although it still apparently has a fairly heavy Islay influence in it. And yeah, that's sort of the intro cheat notes there I've written down. This used to be sold in 10-year-old and 15-year-old versions as well. Those have both been discontinued. So this sort of standard non-age statement version is said to, most people, their best guess anyway, say it's about 7 years. Around there is what you're getting for the malts. As you can see, it is in a black bottle. Yeah, they went back to the black bottle. I just had to check there for a second because I do remember reading that for a while to fool people they'd have a black plastic coating over it. But yeah, they've gone back to the black glass. It used to be in black glass up until 1914, before the outbreak of the First World War, because they were buying their glass from Germany, and that turned out to be a no-no as soon as everyone went to war with Germany. And so there you go. But they've gone back to that. So they're trying to go back to the classic, I guess. And apparently a lot of people don't like that. I sort of looked at a smattering of reviews online, and there is a pretty big backlash of butthurt people who just don't like the idea of this losing a lot of its Islay character, and I can sort of sympathize with that, because I'd been wanting to try this for quite some time now, and solely pretty much because I heard it was so heavy on its Islay influences, and now apparently that's diminished, so a little apprehensive going into this, but we're going to try it out anyway. It was $33, I believe, at my NSLC. Oops, spilled a little bit there. So it's fairly cheap for a blend. It's definitely cheaper than Johnny Walker. Apparently this is caramel colored. But what we're getting here is a pretty deep amber, and I would expect it to be caramel colored if what they say is true, where they suspect that this is only comprised of like 7-year-old malts. You probably would put some coloring to this, not just for consistency, but just to beef up the color a bit in general. So there we go. Pretty much a perfect on amber right there. So go right to the aroma. Well, if they've diminished the Islay in this, from the nose anyway, it must have been super fucking big before, because it's still pretty heavy Islay here. It's got some nice little bit of peat in the background. It's mostly more smoky than anything else. Smoky, woody, and there seems to be almost kind of like a sourdough kind of note to it, kind of sourdough bread kind of thing. Not really getting any fruity hints here or anything. From what I was reading, where they're trying to reformulate it back to closer to what the original blend used to be. Apparently there's a bit more of a balance with fruity character there, but I'm not getting it in the nose at the very least. At least with my untrained nostrils. It smells really good. It's not heavily medicinal. It doesn't have a massive sort of peat or iodine thing going on, but it does have that kind of smoky bonfire seaside character to it, and a little bit of peat there, followed up by wood, and like I said, there's a unique little kind of sourdough bread element there almost. Alright, go right to the taste. Cheers. Okay. Mouth is a little light. Mouthfeel, at least. It's definitely pretty simple. It's a bit dialed back from your big, major, heavy Islas, which is to be expected, really. Again, I'm not getting a lot of fruit. I'm getting a little bit of a fruity note up front. Can't really pin down what it is. It's kind of a nondescript thing for me. Very, very bonfire-y. You're not really getting much kind of necessarily peat character in the taste. It's much more just on the smoky side. Smoke, wood. And again, a bit of a bready character to it. It's definitely drying on the palate. Yeah, fuck you very much, asshole. Motherfuckers. I hate fucking motorbikes. Fuck you. They should have this silent motorbikes. There should be a fucking rule. Anyway. Yeah, so before I was rudely interrupted by that fucking cunt on the bicycle. Okay, a bit more fruitiness is coming out here, but yeah, it's very much just kind of moves directly to that sort of bonfire kind of finish, and it's pretty good. It's nothing spectacular. It's not blowing me away. As far as a cheap sort of Isla heavy blend goes, it's pretty goddamn decent though. It's easy to drink, goes down very smooth, just a little warming going down, and the price is right, man. This is something I think I'll be picking up again. I do kind of wish I'd gotten to taste this in its heyday, where it was apparently super heavy with the Isla stuff, but even if this is a shell of its former self, it's still pretty damn decent. It's definitely something I would consider, you know, buying all the time and keeping around, just as a kind of a really decent shelf blend to have sitting around, right? Especially if I didn't have the money to pick up a good big bottle of Johnny Walker some week. This would be a decent substitute for me. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably give this around a I'm going to say a solid B, bordering on a B+. I think it's pretty damn good stuff. It's not super complex or anything like that, but it does have flavors I like in it, and it's got a lot of them, so it works for me. It might not work for you. There might not be enough complexity here. If you're an Islay fiend like I am, who doesn't really want to step back to a reduced kind of Islay character, then you might want to avoid this as well. I can, I can kind of go both ways on that. I can tolerate a more reduced version of an Islay here, so this is pretty good. I don't know what Islay malts are used in this. From what I've read, there's some speculation that there's no like Lagavulin or Laphroaig in here or anything like that. It's like from the other distilleries, but either way, it's got enough for me. So B for the black bottle. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you again when I see you. Been really busy lately, so haven't been able to make as many videos, but cheers.